We're huge Pitt heads here. The show has clearly become appointment television every Thursday, with fans really cheerleading the series on social media. Some choice reactions we've seen include the one thing we as a country can agree on is that the Pitt rules, and the show is one of the most genuine and effective word of mouth campaigns. Does the reception to it feel special?
Oh my God, completely. Completely. Like and on so many levels. Like also like being from Australia, not many Australians watch Australian TV, so I'm not used to making things people are watching. So that I knew was going to be special. But then seeing the shift as people see what it is, like the perception has changed for the better. It seems like every hour people are becoming more and more passionate about it. People are becoming more and more connected to it, having empathy for the characters, the layers of politics at play. It's really exciting.
I spoke to Supriya, and she previously shared that one of her favorite scenes was shooting with you and Sasha, who plays the TikTok beauty influencer. Three South Asian women in one scene. How does it feel to be on a series that has such a diverse cast?
So good. So good because you don't feel alone at all in any of your experiences, especially now as like public, like reception happens and people get treated differently based on whatever factors. Like I having Sabria, like having like a sister like that to just like go through this all together, good and bad, and like is so special and so lucky, and I don't take that for granted. And there's a real world in which John and Scott and the powers that be didn't make those choices and didn't let two of us who we don't look similar, but we're similar backgrounds, and like
Yeah.
they could have made a different choice and it still would have been for the audience, I think the same thing, but for us, I think it's so special. I'm really grateful.
You're one of the few members of the main cast who have pretty thick accents, and a lot of people are like shocked when you see an interview, like because you guys all have very spot on American accents. But on a
Thank
show
God.
like The Pit, there's obviously a lot of medical jargon, and the dialogue will be a mouthful for anyone. Was there a certain word or line or procedure that was difficult for you to pronounce?
It was episode 8. Joe Sachs wrote it. And I said, Joe, are you kidding me right now? And he laughed and walked away. And it was the venom is causing spasm of the abdominal wall musculature. And I was like, Joe, be so for real with me. But it was fine. I did it.
I mean, like it's like even just again, I can't imagine. It's just seems like the words are so complicated no matter what. And now I'm like, oh my God, I didn't try to do a different accent.
Yeah, and because you don't realize also like my phrase to get into the American or to check if I've got the American is how many times have you asked Sam whether or not his daughter's learning disorder was caused by genetic abnormality?
Oh
Because
my
there's so
gosh.
many sounds in that are the same in Australian and different in American, or that are really different in Australian and they're just really similar. And it's just like it just with your head a little bit. And that one really
Oh
took
my
me
God.
clean.
Has there been a reaction either from viewers or someone in the medical field for the show that has particularly stood out to you?
Oh my God, there's so many that now I'm like,
Just
um,
one that you remember at the top of your head.
I was reading this woman was talking about how she got punched when she was a charge nurse.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm gonna cry now. Yeah, it was really something to be like, wow, like that happened. Like this is something that we're all like, yeah, Doug Driscoll, I'm gonna get you
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
And then the fact that it actually happens to people, and it happened to her in that same context, and I can't imagine what that was like watching that for her. And I also remember reading about this woman, I think this was yesterday on Instagram. She wrote this long comment about like coming home some days and just going straight into the bath and ignoring her children for a bit, not ignoring, but just like taking some space for a bit to become sort of like a person again and like decompress and heal and then go out and see her family in between the shift and her being able to be like a social person. And that really, it was really something. Like it's a really hard industry to work in. And ED, like the wait times and how angry people can get and how they treat you because of that. Um, is really something, and hearing the true stories. And obviously the show is so powerful and like we explore so much of that. Um, but hearing that, sometimes it's easy to be like, oh, that's just dramatized. You know what I mean? Oh, somebody getting punched is drama.
Yeah.
But it's not. Like, and that's I think really fascinating. I think we're so used to seeing like medical shows that are really dramatized that when you see one that's not, you go, well, some of it must be. And I'm sure like, a lot of it, it's a hectic shift. Um, but this stuff happens.